of the great advantages we have right now in dealing with a very difficult government here in the People's Republic of China in a competitive relationship is that we have large-scale bipartisan agreement that we ought to be competing with China for military power in the Indo-Pacific, competing in the economic and trade sphere for a much more level playing field for American business, because it's not level right now. We're certainly competing on technology. And of course, we defend our values. We defend human rights. We take great issue with what the Chinese have done in Xinjiang and Tibet and Hong Kong, the lack of religious freedom here. And I think there's large-scale agreement, frankly, in our country, and also between Republicans and Democrats in Congress, that we've got to be competing in those four areas. We're now in this surreal moment where the Chinese, who I think, lost the debate over the balloon globally, lost influence and credibility around the world because of what they have done, they're now blaming this on us. It's a little bit Orwellian, and it's a little bit frustrating because I think everybody knows the truth here. Yes, there are issues where we do want to work with China if we can, but frankly, this is a moment where we've got to manage these differences, hold China to account, and build up our alliance system out here in the Indo-Pacific, which has been so effective. Frankly, I think the Chinese may have been surprised by the strength of all of our democracies. I remember when I testified at my confirmation hearing, I told the members of the Foreign Relations Committee in the Senate, that the Chinese believe, the Chinese leadership, that the East is rising and that the West, particularly the United States, was declining. I think 2 years into this administration, and on a bipartisan basis, I can say the United States is a strengthened position in the Indo-Pacific, and now the United States and NATO and the United States and the European Union are beginning to see the threat from China and the competition from China in the same way. I think that's surprised the Chinese. It's strengthened our ability to make sure that we're defending our interests out here. From my perspective, sitting here in China, looking out at the Indo-Pacific, our American position is stronger than it was 5 or 10 years ago. It's the strength of our alliances. It's the strength of our private sector. It's our innovative capacity and our R&D capacity, which comes from our research institutions and our big tech companies. And I do think that the Chinese now understand that the United States is staying in this region. We're the leader in this region in many ways, and that we want a future of peace with China. We don't want, as the President Biden makes clear every time he talks about this, we don't want conflict, but we're going to hold our own out here. And I feel optimistic. I'm just concluding my first year as ambassador about the American position in this country and in this region.